Okay, I think we are ready to roll. Hey, hey, hey out there. I think we are ready to roll. Let's make it happen. You welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being on. You are at the right place. And again, just want to make sure you see that which is personal credit versus business credit and why you need both. That's what we're going to hop into. And so before I begin, though, I want to make sure that I have the right setup here for you guys. 1 second, okay? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So what you're going to learn today, of course, this is going to be much more than what you expect. And so here we go. Oops, sorry, I got a little hung up there. Okay, awesome. So, just so you guys know, let me go ahead and introduce myself as well. My name is Terrence Michael Spencer. I am the founder and president of Expandemonium, a process driven coach and capital strategist with over 25 years of leadership experience, and that's spanning corporate and private education. I actually bring a practical results driven aspect to this, and also to business growth and financial positioning. Currently, I serve as a presenter for SCORE. SCORE is a phenomenal organization. Just so you know, it's a nonprofit organization. It's supported by the SBA, the Small Business Association, as well as Southern California Edison's EDGE program. And both organizations, they equip entrepreneurs with the tools and insight needed to thrive, not just survive in 2026 as a small business. Beyond my professional work, I am actually a devoted husband to I like to call my Egyptian queen. Many people know her, and I also have been blessed with 4 sons, and so love to get out there and do some fishing whenever possible. Take long walks on the beach. I actually have my office here in Seal Beach, California, for those who do not know, and so I am a Orange County resident out here in SoCal. And more importantly, I say this: I believe that faith and purpose guide the journey, often in unexpected but meaningful ways. And so there is so much to speak about when it comes to that. But again, I want to make sure that, oh, sorry, guys, it says my screen sharing is paused. 1 second here. Okay, maybe that's better. Hopefully, you guys can see that a lot clearer. Let me see if I can expand this screen for you a little bit more. Nope, that's about it. And so, again, more importantly, I believe that faith and purpose guide the journey, often in unexpected but meaningful ways. And so, it is incumbent, I think, upon us to really, really um, take a stock, on where you're at in your business, where you are personally, because I know even where I'm at today, it is strictly because there has been a direction that has involved divine intervention. And so I hope that you can experience the same thing if you have not already. But I'm sure many of you out there, have experiences just like myself where you can compare the same thing. Here's what you're going to end up learning today. Number one, you're going to learn which credit profile is the true gateway to business funding and why. Number two, you're also going to learn the controversy surrounding business credit that every entrepreneur needs to understand. There is a lot of information out there. And so I just want to break it down for you to keep it simple. I like taking complex ideas and just really bringing it down, to the KISS principle. I'm sure we all know what the KISS principle is, right? Keep it super simple. And so I like to make sure to keep things as simple as possible. That way you are able to understand things a lot more thoroughly and to help you to make better decisions. And number three, the ideal time to begin building business credit is what you're also going to learn. But here's the hint to that. It's probably not when you think. Actually, I just realized I put Noi. So it's probably not the one you think. Okay. And I say that because there's a lot of people with a lot of different thought processes and perceptions about when to actually start building business credit, if at all. So I'm going to jump into that too. And last but certainly not least, point number four, which is how personal credit and business credit complement one another. That's a huge one. So many people think it is versus, which is why I even put that into the thumbnail, into the actual title as well. So I'll be able to debunk a little bit of that and hopefully bring some more clarity for you as we move forward. So the three gold nuggets here, I want to give you these three gold nuggets before we really hop in and really take a deep dive into this stuff. Okay. So nugget number one, the meeting after the meeting is the most important meeting. And I want to say this, guys, more important than this time that we're having together right now on this webinar, more importantly is what you do after. Okay. And more importantly is what you do after this, guys. So I have had the privilege and the honor and the blessing of meeting so many quality friends, business partners, and people who have actually, quite honestly, changed the entire trajectory of my business, not because of the initial meeting in which I met them. It was typically the meeting after the meeting. That was the most important meeting. It was the kneecap to kneecap interactions and being able to talk in detail about where I'm at in my business, where I'm at as a person, and vice versa. We're sharing ideas. And next thing big things happen. And so I always encourage you guys, don't just listen to what you hear today on this webinar, but make sure you take it and you schedule a free consultation, schedule a time to meet. If you want to dive head first into this opportunity as well, you'll have so much value that you'll be able to take part in that will help really launch your business to the next level. And you're going to be able to see that as the presentation goes on. And number two, release fear and embrace faith. Wow. Release fear, embrace faith. You may say, well, Terrence, yeah, that's easier said than done. Sure, it is. But I noticed that we always lean to having an acronym maybe for negative things and not too many acronyms for positive things. So we all know that fear, FEAR, really stands for false evidence appearing real. Many people have heard that before. But what about faith? Do you have one for faith? I know I do. And this is one that I've coined that's really helped me to fine tune my thinking so I'm not laser focused on anything negative. And that is freedom after inner thoughts halt. I love that. And when I say halt, everybody knows, or maybe you don't, but halt means to stop, to cease, to really completely just make something not important. You want to halt it. Okay. And now you look at that as the negative thoughts. We have a lot of negative thoughts that go through our minds. And so if we're able to really express faith, right? Freedom after inner thoughts halt, then we're able to focus on the big picture versus focusing on the minor pictures, right? That the minor things that are negative things, but focus on really what the big vision is. And number three, the dullest pencil is sharper than the sharpest mind. I remember my dad used to tell that to me, and he explained to me what it meant, and didn't get it so much then, but of course, as you get older, right? Unfortunately, wisdom comes with age. I wish we had wisdom even as we're younger, but we just don't have the experience yet. But as I got older, I understood what this meant clearly, right? And I say this. The dullest pencil is sharper than the sharpest mind. So write down or record everything, guys. You'll only remember 10% of what I said, but you'll actually remember 100% of what is written and also what is recorded. So if you write something down, you don't have to think to yourself, oh my gosh, what did he say about that? I don't remember what he meant by this. You'll be able to have written it down to jog your memory, right? And even better if you can record. We actually live in the technological era now, guys. So make sure to record everything if you possibly can. I record a lot of interactions, whether if it's important conversations that I need to have with people, if it's presentations like this, I record because I go back later on and there are things that I always catch that I didn't catch the first time around. Or maybe it's things I needed clarifying, right? I need something clarified for me. And so I go back and I listen again. And what do you know? I understand it a lot more thoroughly. So make sure that that is something that you do as well. Okay. So let me tell you about what expandemonium is not. Okay. Before I tell you what expandemonium is, Okay, I'm the founder and president of Expandemonium, but I don't want people to be confused about who is Expandemonium. You know, I love to say this. I say Expandemonium will be a household name. Please understand that it will be. That is with 110% confidence that this company will be a household name. So I want you to be clear on what we are not, but I also want you to be even more clear on who we are and what we are. Okay. So here's what Expandemonium is not. Expandemonium is not a loan broker. Okay. We do not broker loans. We are not a credit repair company. We are not interested in having the most clients. We're interested in producing the most prepared clients. We are not a company that promises guaranteed approvals. Right? We don't do that. We are not interested in temporary funding wins that create long-term problems. I've seen that happen so many times. And unfortunately, I have a lot of clients that are existing, and I'm sure a lot more future clients that will come to me in our company, and we will be able to see their actual profile and have to do some fixing, right? Because of some bad loans or lines of credit they may have been a part of before, kind of the predatory lending side, right? We are not built around shortcuts, loopholes, or lender manipulation. We are not another company selling trade lines as a magic solution, right? We're not here to help clients appear fundable. We help them become fundable. So many people have asked me, especially maybe BRMs, bankers, or just different lenders I'll speak to. They'll say, "Well, do you guys lend? Do you lend, or do you? What exactly do you do?" And I say, "No, we're not a broker. We're not a direct lender. No, we are exactly what I'm telling you right now, or should I say what we're not right now, right? We don't want to make you appear like a fundable company. We help you become fundable. So you have the confidence that when you finally do go for your first round of funding or your second round of funding, or who knows, your third round of funding, that you can go into it with confidence and not thinking, I hope that all of my chips are lined up, but you have confidence that they are. And last but certainly not least, we are not transaction driven. We are transformation driven. We take pride in that. I take a lot of pride in that, being the founder of this company. And that is really one of the primary reasons why this company exists, is that I don't want to embark on transactions with people. I want to make sure I build a relationship and transform people's businesses. And when you transform people's businesses, guess what you end up sometimes attaining? Lifelong friendships, right? Mutually beneficial relationships. And I love that. That is something that I hold dear to my heart. So what is Expandemonium, right? What Expandemonium is. Here's what we truly are. So pay close attention. We are a business coaching and capital readiness company. We also are a strategic partner that prepares businesses for sustainable access to capital. And we're a company that builds businesses according to lender and banking standards, not assumptions. Okay. We're a long-term business development company rather than a short-term funding solution. Other companies can do that. We are not made that way, and we are not built that way. We are an educator that teaches business owners how lending institutions evaluate risk. Because if you can know how they evaluate risk, then you can become less risky to the lender. Okay. Also, we're a relationship driven company focused on transparency, integrity, and long term success. Okay. A complete business foundation solution encompassing structure, business credit, capital strategy, and asset protection. Also, we're a company that believes preparation creates the opportunity. And last but certainly not least, we're a company that values process over profit and education over hype. So, again, now that you know who we are and you know who we are not, let's move forward here and get the meat and potatoes of why you're here today. So, our first point: which credit profile is the true gateway to business funding and why? Personal credit, of course, right? The lender needs to first trust you before your business. We need to make sure that we understand that as business owners, yes, in the very beginning stages, our businesses are young. We do not have seasoning with our businesses. So because we don't have seasoning, the lender is first going to take a look at you and look at how responsible are you at handling your debt personally, dealing with what we call the five factors. Okay. The five factors are what we need to understand when it comes to the word credit worthiness. Credit worthiness means everything to a lender. Okay, let's talk about what credit worthiness is. So, mastering the five factors shows a lender you can be trusted. That's what it does. You need to be one who is credible, right? And so, how do lenders evaluate that? They go by payment history. 100% on time payments. Now, think about this for a second. If you are in school and you take a test and you pass with a 90% or a 95% on that test, you most likely, according to the grading scale, you got an A, right? That means you did excellent. When it comes to the financial institutions, when it comes to lending, when it comes to garnering capital, banks don't want to see 90% on time payments. They don't want to see 95% on time payments. They want to see 100%. It gives them rest and they can sleep at night knowing that when they give you that money that you're trying to borrow, that they know you're going to pay it back. Okay. They want to see 100%. Number two, utilization. Utilization, it is the amount of debt that you have total with a ratio of the balance. Okay, now let me give you an example of that. So I said here, let me actually just tell you what it says here, obviously. So under 30% for personal funding and under 10% for business funding. I'll explain more about what that means right now. So when you're looking at your utilization, let's use an example of you having a credit card. You have a credit card with a limit of $1,000. And let's say you went ahead and spent $900 on that card out of the 1,000. So you have a $900 balance and your limit is 1,000. So that means you are at 90% utilization. Okay. That is not going to be helpful, especially if you're looking to get any type of personal or business funding. As you can see here, under 30% for personal funding, right? So that means if you have a $1,000 limit on your card to really go for some good personal credit and good limits on your personal credit, you want to be at $300 of a balance or below. Okay, $300 balance or below. If you're going to get business funding, you want to be at $100 or below. Okay, so the golden egg there when it comes to utilization for business funding is 2 to 9%. So just kind of keep that and be mindful of that. Credit mix. That is active revolving and installment accounts. Banks want to see if you are a person who just has all your eggs in one basket, meaning you have all credit cards, you have no installment loans. And installment loans are like a car loan, a mortgage payment, even school loans. Those are actually those are considered installment. Okay, even though they're in a category of their own, it's basically a debt that when you pay it down, it's not going to replenish itself like a credit card, which is why it's called revolving, right? Revolving debt, or even a business line of credit or a personal line of credit. Once you pay that balance down, the limit itself replenishes itself so you can continue to use that. Okay, so banks want to see, can you handle both types of debt, not just one type of debt? So that's what it means by credit mix. And that's about 15% of your credit score. Now we're going to talk about average account age. So factor number 4, average account age. I put here 5+ years because 5+ years shows that you have a history of paying on time. You have a history of mixing your different accounts. You have a history of being responsible at the end of the day, and you come across as less risky the higher your average account age. Okay, so I always tell people shoot for 5+ years. If you have 4 and you're kind of hovering next to 5, you may be okay. But really, the golden rule of thumb here is that 5+ years of average account age. And last but certainly not least is number 5, and that's new accounts, or should I say new credit and inquiries. No more than 3 inquiries per bureau, guys, okay, within a 12-month period. If you're looking to get business capital, one of the killers of getting business capital is the amount of inquiries that you could have on your personal credit report. Let me give you an example of that. There are certain lenders out there that are what you would call inquiry sensitive. One of those banks being Chase. JP Morgan Chase. Everybody knows about Chase. They are very inquiry sensitive to the fact that they actually have a rule, and their rule is the 524 rule. And what is a 524 rule? That simply is if you have more than 5 new accounts within a 12-month, or should I say a 24-month period, then you will automatically be denied a business credit card. Okay, if you violate that 524 rule. So make sure that you are very cognizant of how many inquiries are presently on your personal credit report, and make sure that you have no more than 3 on each bureau: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And here's the note here: Have comparable credit. This is one of those offshoots right now that's a gold nugget that I want you to make sure that you understand. Have comparable credit and an organic profile. Okay. What do you mean by that, Terrence? Here's what I'm saying. A comparable credit profile is you want to get a $20,000 business funding credit card, right? It's an unsecured credit card at 0% interest, right? For you want to get that at 15,000, 20,000. You want to get the most that you possibly can. However, a bank is not going to issue you that if you have not had any history of paying on a credit card of that limit. And here's what I mean by that. You're trying to get a 10, 15, $20,000 business credit card, but your highest personal credit card is only $3,000. Okay. Here's a rule of thumb again that you need to understand. Banks typically give out 70% to 200% of your highest personal active credit card. Okay. So comparable credit, make sure you have something of proof before you ask for something that you want to get for your business. Okay. Also, an organic profile. Organic profiles are very important to have. Okay. Now, here's what I mean by an organic profile. The opposite of organic just means, I guess you want to call it fake or fabricated, right? I would say, let's use the word fabricated versus fake, right? Let's just say a fabricated account, meaning that it is puffed up. It's not real. Okay. It's a lot of secondary accounts that are appearing real. Okay. They are appearing real. They're secondary accounts, but they're not primary accounts. What I mean by secondary accounts are like authorized user accounts. If you have an authorized user account looks great on your profile. Why is that? And that's because, you may have a $20,000 authorized user account. That's not you. That's somebody else who's the primary on that account. But you get credited with the limit, you get credited with the account age, and it actually does wonders with sometimes building your credit score. Now, are authorized user accounts bad? No, they're not bad. But you want to make sure that I like to compare it to somebody who understands physical fitness, right? You understand maybe lifting weights. You want to be able to take in a lot of natural food, right? Your macros, right? And you want to make sure that you're feeding your body the right nutrition, and you want to complement that with lifting weights, right? And so that your body becomes strong and you actually have mass, that's natural mass on your body through the food that you have eaten. When you take supplements, that complements, right? The supplement complements the natural food that you're taking in the same way. Let's take that example and let's look at now authorized user accounts or credit builder accounts. You just like when you're in physical fitness, you're not going to eat Jack in a Box all day long or Burger King all day long and just survive off supplements, right? Vitamins, creatine, glycogen. You're not going to take all of those as your primary source of nutrition. Those supplement the food that you are taking in naturally. In the same way, authorized user accounts and credit builder accounts, they supplement the real primary accounts that you have on your profile. Okay. Even if they're secure accounts, those are still primary accounts. So you want to build out your primary accounts as large as possible. And then you want to supplement it with, again, some authorized user accounts, supplement it with a business builder account, right? But that shouldn't be the whole makeup of your profile. Banks are not dumb, guys. When they see that and they see that your primary accounts are those that are just filled, with secondary accounts, they will automatically, typically, just deny any application that you put in because they're going to see that this person is not real. They're not the primary on anything that they have. So make sure that you take note of that. Okay. Let's talk about the controversy. This is point number 2, the controversy surrounding business credit that every entrepreneur should understand. Okay. There is so many people out there that have conflicting opinions about business credit. Okay. Some say business credit is useless. It's worthless. Why even try to build it out? It doesn't make a difference on your funding, doesn't make a difference on your business profile. Then you have those out there that are the complete opposite. We have literally, the complete opposite of those, right? And then you have those that say, hey, business credit is one of the biggest and most important aspects of building out your entire business structure. And without it, you're going to lack, you know, you're going to lack the ability to maximize the limits that you can possibly get with your funding. There are actually certain products that you may be able to qualify for that if you don't have business credit, you won't be able to qualify for them. And what side do you think that I'm on? The first side or the second side, right? The latter or the former, right? I am on the latter. Business credit is extremely important. So I'm going to break it down for you. I'm not going to leave you, I'm not going to leave you in oblivion right now and say, okay, well, can you prove that to me? Sure, I definitely can. Business credit is a long-term financial strategy. That is where the main controversy comes from. Okay, because it's a long-term strategy. Unlike personal credit, once you get it fixed and everything is looking great, you have a good credit score above 700, you have a profile of what I talked about earlier, right? No late payments, you got low utilization, great credit mix, you have very low inquiries. And again, you're mastering the 5 factors. You can get funding for your business right now that is actually visible, that is in pocket. It is usable right now, right? And so that is why you have those that say, well, hey, it's useless for business credit. Well, no, not at all. It's a long-term financial strategy. That's what it is. Okay. It takes 6 to 12 months to thoroughly build out. That's now 6 to 12 months is if you are intentional about building out your business credit. Business credit is typically built out in phases. Okay. It's built out in phases. And so if you are committed to the process, then you will eventually build out a robust business credit profile that will serve you extremely well. Over 80% of vendors and suppliers do not report payment experiences to the business credit bureaus. Here's one that could be really a big damper for those business owners out there that are really truly trying to build out their business credit. And that is this. And I hope that this changes in the near future. But again, this is an issue, is that literally over 80% of vendors and suppliers do not even report, or they just report consistently at the very least, right? And what I mean by that is, I can give you a great example of a client that I had about 8 months, almost a year ago. I will never forget this interaction that I had with this lady, and I ended up building out a really, really awesome, robust business credit profile with her. But she assumed that she already had great business credit. That's what she assumed, because she had taking the advice of watching a couple of YouTubes, or, talking to a couple of friends, and applied for different vendor and supplier accounts. They issued her a card, and it was a net 30 card, which means when you have a net 30 card as a business credit card, that simply means that you have 30 days to pay the full balance, okay, of whatever you get. And so she thought, hey, I got a pretty good business credit profile. I know, because I have several cards that I'm using currently right now, and I know that they're reporting. I'm like, okay, cool, excellent. So we went on, smallbusiness.experian.com, and I went ahead and had her purchase her business credit report. And to her surprise and my surprise, right, she did not have the profile that she thought. Out of the several cards that she got, there was only 2 on there that was reporting, and one of them was reporting inconsistently. Go figure, right? And so she was pretty discouraged. She thought, well, why am I even doing this? I'm not really reaping the benefit of it. But in fact, it's just that she just didn't have the right vendors. After I showed her, here's the vendors that you can replace those vendors with, right? The ones that are not reporting, here's some that you can replace that are reporting that are still going to benefit your company. Then she was able to get herself on track and really truly build out a business credit profile that was impressive, for lenders and banks, in order to get her higher limits and better terms and rates. And there's also much confusion over the correct strategy, right? The confusion is very evident. And I've had this, I've had this question asked. When I talk about confusion over the strategy becomes, okay, well, should I build business credit with personal credit? Should I build it separately? There's so much out there when it comes to the actual what is the actual benefit, of building out business credit. Is it for the simple fact that I can just have it because it looks good, so it's more just a credibility thing? Or do I truly get better rates and terms? Do I truly get higher limits? Do I truly get access to different products? Yes, all the above. Yes. So again, I think what the frustrating part is that, or should I say the irony, not frustrating, but the irony is that many business owners and entrepreneurs have no problem building out their personal credit profile for the next year or two. But when it comes to business credit, it's like, I'm not going to do that. And they have a, hard stop when it comes to building that out, but want to complain that it's useless to build out a business credit profile. And so again, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about this, is that there are major benefits to building out your business credit profile, but you have to be patient and you have to embrace the process, that you have to be willing to build it out methodically and strategically. And I will give you obviously the resource to be able to do that at the end of this presentation. So that way you are not going to stay confused, but you'll have all the education that you need in order to thoroughly build out your business credit profile. Okay, let's look at the third item here, the ideal time to begin building business credit. This is huge, right? I have had so many questions about this. When should I do this? Should I do it now? Should I do it later? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, here's a quote that I want to give to you. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. I know all of us, including myself, we have all had this experience where we wish that we would have started something earlier than later. I mean, it runs rampant, right? We all have this experience, guys. And so again, I want to make sure that you understand that, it is incumbent upon you that whatever you need to do to take action, guys. Make sure you make it happen immediately. Don't waste time. There's no reason to waste time. Okay. Always do what you need to do and get it done now. Don't procrastinate. Okay. So the best time, the most ideal time, right, to build business credit is now. Right. That is the most ideal time. There's no better time than now to build business credit. And when I say that is because I'll give you another live example. Okay. Now, again, I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. I'm so sorry. This is Karen Lamb that this quote is from. Okay. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. Okay. Now, here's the reason why I say you need to do it now. I have a client that I'm currently working with. We're on our second round of funding right now. And here's something that was very ironic. They have a 7-figure business. They're doing very well in their business. The revenue is doing great. Their income is great. We went to go apply. I went to help them. I referred them out to a gentleman that I work with, and that was to get them. They're actually in position, right, to go get a term loan, for their actual business. And it was successful, that actual transaction, but only because he did something different than his last transaction. He actually went back to this person, and I didn't even know. He went back to this person the second time, which is actually the person that I referred him to. The first time he went there, we had a conversation. The first time he went there, he didn't have business credit. And so he wanted a very large term loan. According to the growth of his business, it was appropriate for him to get the size of the term loan that he got and that he wanted. Unfortunately, at that time, a lot of his ducks were lined up, but there was one duck that was not lined up properly. And that duck was he did not have any business credit, unfortunately. So because he didn't have business credit, he was not able to qualify for the larger loan that he was going for. However, once we started working together and he partnered with Expandemonium, then we were able to really put him in position to start building out his business credit. And we built a very robust business credit profile. And about close to 6 months, actually, he actually did his right before 6 months because he had partially had it built out. And so right before that 6-month process happened, he had a thoroughly built out business credit profile. And we went back, and that's when I didn't know that he had already, done business with this particular person. But when we went back, he actually had a robust business credit profile, and he qualified for the big term loan that he was looking to get. And so again, guys, this tells you that, is it important to have a business credit profile? Is it important to have a built out business credit profile? Absolutely. That is a great example right there, right? That you need a business credit profile that can stand on its own outside of your personal credit. Okay. So last but certainly not least, let's jump into how personal credit and business credit complement one another to maximize your funding opportunities. Okay. So here is how that works. They build lender trust. That is the most important way that they complement one another. They build business trust. I mean, they build lender trust with you personally, and they build lender trust with your business. Okay. So again, a business relationship manager or a licensed relationship manager, either one, especially underwriters at the end of the day as well, who are going to make the final decision on whether you are approved or denied. What they are really looking at is the whole picture. They're looking at the whole picture of you and the whole picture of your business. That is what an underwriter is looking for. Okay. And they are looking for, does this person do well when it comes to their personal credit profile? All of the areas that I mentioned previously, including, right, do they have comparable credit? Right? Are they an organic profile? Right? They're looking at all these things. And then they jump ship after that. And they say, well, this person has a business. It looks legitimate. Their personal credit looks great. Do they actually operate a real business? Right? And here's what I mean by that. Do they have trade lines that they are actively using, that they are getting credit through payment experiences of paying this creditor off every single month, and it's reporting to the business credit bureaus? And who are the business credit bureaus? Dun and Bradstreet, Commercial Experian, and Commercial Equifax, or should I say Business Experian and Business Equifax. Those three lenders need to report your payment experiences, which is how you're going to build out your business credit profile. And when you have 15 plus trade lines, oh man, it looks great to a lender. It looks great to a bank, because if those are active trade lines that you are using to build your business is going to be able to stand alone outside of your personal credit. Okay. Number two, they actually take about the same amount of time to build. See, so that's how they also complement each other. That's why I said when you said, when should I build my business credit? You build it now, because it's going to take about the same amount of time to build your business credit as it does your personal credit. If you have errors, discrepancies, and you have negative items on your personal credit report that you need to dispute, attacking those items and really hitting it hard and making sure that you get those negative items off your personal credit report, which again, at Expandemonium, we help refer you out in order to get those fixed. Okay. And we help with credit preparation as well. But again, we want to make sure that it is all done, and it's being done consistently. Consistency is the key. The problem is that you have a lot of business owners that are working just on their personal credit profile and really building out their personal credit profile without building out their business credit profile. And then they wait a year later, they wait 2 years later to start building out their business credit profile. And I hear the same story all the time, just so you guys know. I should have built this out a long time ago. That's what I hear from most business owners. I should have built this out a long time ago. Yes, you should have. Absolutely. And so again, when you build out a business credit profile, it complements your actual applications, right? When you fill out an application to get a credit card, to get a term loan, to get a business line of credit, to get any other product that is business oriented, when you have a personal credit profile and a business credit profile that complement one another, and they take about the same amount, again, the same amount of time to build, it looks great for you, and it's only going to help you. Okay. Number three, having one without the other limits your funding capacity. Very true. I just gave you the example of the client that I had. Have a great personal credit profile, great score. They built out their actual profile to really have the comparable credit that they need. It was very organic. Everything looked great. However, they didn't have the business credit piece. So they got funded. Don't get me wrong, they got funded, but it was limited according to the amount of funding they could have gotten. Okay. Don't be in that position. Make sure you maximize the amount of funding that you can get, because that's only going to help your business grow. Okay. Number four, eventually lenders begin evaluating the business on its own merits instead of relying solely on the owner's personal credit. That's the key. right? I've had so many people ask me, Terrence, why do they keep asking me for my SSN? I want to be able to fill out an application just for once where all I need to do is put down my EIN. And I tell them the same thing every time. That will eventually happen once you have proven that you do have a robust business credit profile that can stand on its own. But right now, it can't stand on its own because you are not ready yet because you haven't built it out. You haven't put in the work. You haven't indulged in the process. So let's make sure we get that done, guys. Number five, certainly not least, though, right? The most successful business owners don't choose between personal credit and business credit. Hear that, okay? They intentionally build both to maximize access to capital and position their businesses for sustainable growth. Okay. Cody Sanchez does it. Okay. You also have my guy Darius Benders does it. You even have Jeff Bezos. He does it as well. Okay, there are so many people that I've heard talk about business credit on different types of platforms, whether it be YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and they all say the same exact thing: building out their business credit was a life changer, right? They were able to use it and they still have it even to this day to utilize it for bigger limits and more access to different products. So make sure, guys, to understand that the most successful business owners, they don't choose, okay? They just do it. They build out both. You do the same thing. Follow the example, okay? So I want to stretch your vision. What would having access to 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 or more of business funding do for your business? Okay. Here's some thoughts, right, of things that it could do, right? You can hire a mentor to scale your operations, right? Or maybe marketing strategy to increase lead flow, right? Expand geographically for brand awareness. People need to know who you are. I'm the new kid on the block, which is what I love. I'm the new kid on the block, and I come with a ton of value that I offer for people. And that's the good thing about being the new kid on the block is that I get a chance to really, I guess you can say, undercut a lot of the really expensive, crazy services that are out there right now that I see take place, on YouTube and different gurus offering different services. I'm going to show you the value that gets brought to the table towards the next couple of slides, and your jaw's gonna drop. Okay, I can tell you that for sure. And you'll see exactly what we can do in order to position you to access the most capital that you possibly can. Okay. Number four, hire and staff employees to buy back your time. That's one resource that you will never get back, and that is your time. So think about what funding will do for you if you're able to do that. Buy back your time. And bookkeeping and accounting services for financial control. This is huge, actually. There are so many business owners out there, and I know because I work with so many of them and help them get access to capital in some form or fashion, right? And I see that a lot of different business owners and entrepreneurs just do not have great bookkeeping. They do not have great accounting services. And I get it because as a small business owner, you're wearing 50,000 hats. You're just trying to make it happen. You're trying to make the business grow. You're changing the trajectory of your business. You don't have time to worry about, I wonder what numbers go here, what numbers go there, what's, here, what go. You're just not tracking all of your financials. Okay. So again, those come into play though. They come into play big time, and it can either bite you in the butt or it can really boost your business if you have them under control. And so again, that's where you think about funding, right? Funding, actually, you can hire somebody to do this. So by the time you get a chance to go to your first or second or third round of funding and you have your finances in order, you're going to be able to, number one, make the process quick. Okay, that's how the process is quick. And when you're applying for business funding is when you have all your ducks in a row. But you can't have all your ducks in a row if you don't know what goes where, right? What have I spent? What have I not spent? What do I need to spend? What do I need to use as a tax write-off? You don't know anything, right? So it's good to have those services in place so that way it makes your process quicker and more efficient. Okay, which two are the most important out of these areas here: mentoring, marketing, expansion, hiring, bookkeeping, accounting? Which one is the most important? Here's a hint: M&M. So there's only two up there, right? M&M is the hint, right? What is M&M? Okay. Mentoring and marketing. That's what M&M is. Mentorship and marketing. Mentorship is amazing because you're actually hiring really someone to take you where where they're taking you where you're trying to get to. Think about that for a second, right? And also marketing. Wallow, I was listening to one of his podcasts. His name is Wallow, and he said, "Man, there's God, and then there's marketing." I said, "Man, he really puts a lot of weight on marketing, but it's true, right? Marketing is the catalyst. It is one of the true catalysts to you growing your business exponentially because you can be actually the best kept secret. Why be the best kept secret? Make sure that people know who you are. And how do you do that? It starts with marketing, right? People have to know who you are. And when you have marketing under your belt and it's really moving and it's gaining momentum and you're getting a lot of traction, guess what you have? Lead flow. And what is lead flow? Lead flow is customers. And what do customers do? Customers bring revenue, right? And so again, mentorship and marketing, you can't really put a price tag on that if you have a quality mentor in a quality marketing campaign. Okay. Here's the problem though that we deal with. Most people are concerned about the price without considering the cost. Oh, that's a big one, right? You're looking at the dollar sign of how much something of how much something costs, right? You're looking at that price and you're saying to yourself, no, I don't need that right now. Not knowing that it's going to cost you time and actually more money. Statistically speaking, it's going to cost you more money and it's going to cost you more time. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I'm out here talking to you right now on this webinar, guys. Don't make that mistake. The beauty of it is this. With Expandemonium, you're not going to have to worry about the price or the cost. Okay, I can tell you that right now. Okay. And I like to put this slide up here. It kind of hit me. I said, how do you dominate an industry? Here's how you dominate an industry, because that's what Expandemonium will do. We will dominate this industry, the coaching industry, the business coaching industry. And how do you do that? Number one, you offer the most value. I'm going to show you the value that we offer. So we're going to offer the most value. That's how you do it. And then number two, you have to have the second part, which is deliver exceptional customer service. This is where a lot of companies I know today blow it. And I know because me and my wife, we talk about it all the time, that there are so many companies out there that may have a great product, but they have the poorest, they have the poorest customer service experience out there, which really takes away from the quality of the product or the service that they are offering because the customer service is just so bad. So deliver exceptional customer service. That's number two. And the third link that puts it all together is offer an unbelievable price with options, right? What I mean by option, with a monthly option, not just a one-time fee option. Okay. What does that look like? Let's first talk about what you get. So at Expandemonium, here's what you get. You get credit preparation services. And what I did is I wanted to put the retail value for you. So you can actually do this on your own too. If you think Terrence is blowing smoke, then go do the research on your own. Okay. For credit preparation services, and I don't do premium. So these are not even premium prices, guys. These are just run of the mill, right in the middle right now. Run in the mill, right in the middle pricing. So credit preparation services, retail value, that's what RV means. $1,500. And when I say 1,500, I'm not talking about a month. I'm talking annual. There's a one in here that's annually, and I'll make sure to point that out for you. But we're talking about one-time cost to get credit preparation services in the marketplace. Retail value is $1,500. You get also a complete business setup or strategic restructuring. I know that 70% of my clients, I have to restructure their business, not start a new business, but restructure because they have the wrong structure, guys. So you get a complete business setup and strategic restructuring aligned with lender standards. That's the key. It has to be aligned with lender standards. If it's aligned with anything else besides lender standards, you're wasting your time and your money getting a process or a program like that. If you were to go to the marketplace and try to purchase what that is, it's going to be $1,500 minimum. Okay. Also, what you get with Expandemonium, you get an established and robust business credit profile complete with 15 plus business trade lines designed to build credibility. Okay. Go look at what that would cost in the marketplace. The retail value of that is going to be about $2,000. And that's on the low end, about $2,000. You get that service with Expandemonium. What service do you also get? I'm loading on the value on. I just keep building the value. You also get exclusive group trainings packed with advanced funding tips, strategies, and hidden opportunities. Go look at what that costs on the marketplace. The retail value, here's the one that's annual. So most of the times when you have exclusive group trainings like this, they usually charge on a monthly basis. But I took that monthly amount and I just took it out into 1 year. So annually, you're going to pay about $997. Okay. You also get exceptional customer service. I just talked about that earlier, right? We not only do we deliver a great service, but we also deliver a great customer service experience as well, where you will have continuous support. And so you get exceptional customer service and dedicated support Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, excluding holidays. Okay. So the retail value of that is on the low end, $1,000. Okay. That's on the low end. Okay. And we also commit to you. That's the beauty about this process of what we offer right now. We commit to you. It's a beautiful offer because we are going to commit 6 to 12 months on a partnership with you, focused on helping you grow and scale your business. Retail value of that is $1,500. Yeah, it just keeps growing, right? The retail value just keeps growing if you were to get all of these services independently. Okay. We also give you exclusive access to one of the industry's most advanced capital platforms, and that is Lendavo. Okay. That is going to be a $500 access point annually if you want to get access to that independently. Okay. Here's the catch, guys. Here's the big one. We also set up for you something that is so needed in our industry, so needed in where we're at right now in this world, and that is a revocable living trust. We will set that up for you so you can have asset management, financial control, and legacy building, okay, for your beneficiaries. Because one day, guess what, guys? You are going to pass. One day, I'm going to pass. One day, I'm going to be gone from this earth, okay? And you need to be able to leave your assets to your beneficiaries, okay? And so, again, we have oversight through attorneys that will be able to put this process together for you. It comes with our program, guys. It comes with it. On the low end, if you were to go and do that on your own, on the low end, it's going to cost you about $2,000 to get that set up. Okay. So, grand total retail value of all the services here on the low end, that's not premium, on the low end, the retail value of the total of all of this is going to be $10,997. Go do your research. I challenge you to go do your research and look at how much each one of these services costs if you were going to go do this independently. You remember the quote that I had just previously to this? I said, most people are concerned about the price, but don't consider the cost. This is one of those areas. But here's the thing, guys. At Expandemonium, since we value process over profit, we also value transformation over transaction and education over hype. Your price is nowhere near $10,997. Here is what you have available to you with all of the value that I just spoke about, with all of the services that you get. Remember, I'm the new kid on the block. So I want to make sure that I offer the most value, okay, at the most inexpensive, cost efficient price. Okay. My deal for you is a one-time payment of $3,997, or you can choose to do this monthly as well for $497. You take it, it's up to you. Okay. Here's a disclaimer though. It will not remain at this price. And I tell you that not as a sales pitch. I'm not telling you that as a sales pitch. I'm telling you that because that's the truth. It's not sustainable to keep it at that price of $3,997 and even $497 per month. That's not a sustainable price. I'm doing that because I know that I'm the new kid on the block and I have to build trust with the public at large. I want to build your trust. I want you to see that, yes, we do offer an amazing service. Yes, we do offer exceptional customer service. And yes, we do see it through to the end. Okay. So because of that, I'm willing to take a short loss so that my team can grow and so that the customers can win. Okay. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So my name is Terrence Michael Spencer. I'm the founder and president of Expandemonium LLC. To book an appointment to get started, simply scan the QR code below. Okay. Or you can go to expandemonium.vip. Again, that is expandemonium.vip. And along with that, we will also, just for scheduling an appointment, we're also going to give you a complimentary free ebook. And that ebook is the definitive guide to building your business credit. Guys, I want to tell you it's been an amazing time to be able to deliver this information to you. I look forward to seeing many of you at a later time. And I hope that your business will change its trajectory sooner than you possibly thought, guys. Okay. Let's make it happen for 2026. Let's finish up strong here. We're in the middle of the year, guys. Okay. Let's finish up strong. And also, this, again, I keep saying it, I'm the new kid on the block. So please, guys, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. And so I'm going to deliver more quality content to you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next couple of weeks as well. I'm also going to be having these live presentations on a weekly basis. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to, on July 24th, you don't want to miss that, guys. I'm going to have a blast on July 24th. I'm coming to you with some great special information that you're going to need to have. So stay tuned. Okay. Look forward to seeing you guys in the near future. Take care now, guys. Bye-bye.